Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel. I haven't posted in a long time. I think it's been a couple of months. We're having a dust storm here. That is dust. And I think the winds are probably about 50 or 60 miles an hour at least. So I don't know if y'all can hear it. I don't know if the sound is picking up the wind, but it's really, it's a slightly, I can feel the rocking in my car, but I'm going to post this concerning what happened at the Oscars, the slap heard around the world. I might not be in the popular opinion with this, but I just want to start out saying that, I really feel for Jada Pinkett Smith if she does have a severe case of alopecia areata. It's not really clear whether it's a form of alopecia or if it's been diagnosed exactly as alopecia areata that I'm aware of. I did see several reports saying that she was diagnosed with alopecia areata, which is a form of bald or alopecia that has patchy bald spots, and it's usually associated with the autoimmune disease. It can also be triggered through thyroid disease, allergies, asthma. There's several things that can trigger this alopecia areata. And alopecia is a generalized term for hair loss, and it can refer to different types of hair loss or baldness. And I actually went through it was not like an official diagnosis where I took treatment or anything like that. I do have thinning hair. I wear a hat a lot. My hair is very thin, and I'm growing it out, and I do have some thinness. That's my part, which is starting to recede a little bit, and I've got this little spot right here. I'm going to make it clear I've not been diagnosed with alopecia areata, and you can see how thin my hair is. I'm just pulling it back. There's I have very thin hair, and this side right here grows much thicker. You can probably see it's probably a lot thicker. This side is very thin, and around this area behind my ear, I had like a pretty good size, maybe a quarter size bald spot, and it didn't grow for a long time, and it just appeared slowly over time. I do wear a hat a lot, and not because I have thin hair. It's just I like wearing hats, so it has nothing to do with covering up my hair. And also use it for sun protection for my face, because I live in Texas, and it's very, very hot here in the summertime. It's just a habit. I wear a hat, but it's not to cover up my hair, really. But at one point, I had severe stress that caused a lot of my hair to fall out. Probably about 1/4 to 1/3 of my hair fell out. And when I would brush my hair, clumps of it would come out in the brush. Actually, I brushed my hair earlier. This is kind of gross, but I'm going to show you my hair. I cleaned the brush out yesterday, and this clump, you can't really see it very good. The brush still has a lot of it in there. I'm going to throw this away later, but I saved it. I usually only brush my hair about maybe 1 to 3 times a day, and that's it, because it pulls my hair out. It really stresses my hair out, and when you have any form of alopecia or baldness or thinning hair, you have to be careful not to brush your hair out or pull on it while it's wet with a brush. Use a comb. If you do have wet hair, use a comb, and be very gentle. Start at the end, hold it, start at the end, and do it this way, and then just go up. If you start at the top and pull down, you're just raking your hair out. So don't do that if you have thinning hair. Or if you want to save the remaining hair that you have, be very gentle with it when you're brushing it or combing it. Start at the bottom to push the hair back in there, but just kind of do it like that, and then just slowly go up a little bit at a time. You can see my ponytail is really thin. have thin hair, and I have very fine hair. And when I went through this very stressful time period for about a good year to a year and a half maybe, my hair was thinning and falling out. And it's very distressful. I mean, it made me cry, and it was very, it just was very concerning and it just added stress on top of the stress that I had. Now I'm going bald. Am I going to have to wear a wig, And, you know, people get self-conscious, whenever they lose some form of their looks or their physical attributes, and it happens as we age, or things that may, like I say, a medical condition or whatever, something may occur. And sometimes your body goes through changes. And this hair loss of mine was attributed to stress. I told a doctor about it. Actually, I didn't go to the doctor for that reason. I went for something else. And usually when I go to the doctor, half the time I don't have health insurance, because the great U.S., most prosperous nation in the world, has one of the worst healthcare systems, and or access to a healthcare system. Let me say it that way. We have great resources and great healthcare here, but to access, sometimes it is a matter of money, or most of the time it's a matter of money. That's the honest truth here. I don't want to get into that. That's too political. But for the reason that when I went to the doctor, I would usually bombard them with everything that was wrong with me for one visit that I would specifically go there for, but I would mention other things. And the doctor told me I probably had, from stress, questioned me about certain situations, and I don't want to go into detail about it, but it was an extremely, extremely stressful time for me. And my hair was just falling out, and he pretty much told me it's probably because of the stress. And it's probably, I want to say, like I say, probably a year to a year and a half I went through the hair loss. I didn't take any medication. I didn't do anything further medically. And I would say probably after I was out of this stressful situation, within a few, I want to say maybe 5 years, my hair started to grow back, but it didn't grow back fully. I would say even after 10 years, it wasn't at the fullness or the amount that I had before. But I want to say that this was hair loss that was extreme. It wasn't, we lose hair as we grow older. Our hair follicles start to break down or die or whatever. You don't always grow new hair as fast, when you're older. When you're younger, your body's healthier usually. Your body, as we grow older, we break down. And so a lot of my hair was probably age related, but I was in my early 40s, so it shouldn't have been that much, and it was attributed to the stress. So my hair is very thin and very fine, and it hasn't fully grown back. This is my full ponytail. But although it has grown in length a lot, it actually is growing, and it's about halfway down my back, maybe a little bit more than halfway down my back. And I've always had fine, thin hair, but this stress-related condition, it was extreme, and it was the contributing factor for me losing my hair. But it did grow back. It's not full and thick, and actually I need to wash it tonight, so it's not as fluffy. And I just slicked it back. I just pulled it back really. And also pulling it back wearing braids, or pulling it back in a ponytail wearing hats, it can also have an effect on your hair. You can accelerate hair loss by doing those things also. And Jada Pinkett Smith has attributed her hair loss to alopecia, and saying that the times that she braided her hair using the small little braids like that was probably the main contributing factor that I understood, unless she had an autoimmune disease or something. I don't know. I really don't know. That in itself, pulling the hair back like that, very tight in little tiny braids, can cause, little patchy bald spots, but they generally grow back if it's like that. Even with the autoimmune disease or something like that and your hair falls out, it can also grow back too. There's not really a cure for making, hair grow back to original state, but if you care for it, if you take steroids, certain other medications, it can grow back. It may not be as full or as thick as it was before, but you can grow it back. Now that I've gone through that, I just want to state that even though she does have this hair loss condition, she has worn her hair very, very short for about, I want to say, at least 10 years that I've noticed. And in a very, very, very short cut. And I think she's beautiful that way. She was just absolutely stunning and gorgeous woman. And when she did shave her head, she was still stunning, beautiful, and gorgeous. And she had the perfect head shape. She carried that bald look off like nobody's business. And I don't think that it's belittling to bring up the fact that she has done that for a long time. That's not what I'm trying to do. The slap at the Oscars was really unfortunate because it embarrassed the host, Chris Rock. I feel like Will Smith did it to, in a sense, defend his wife's honor in that way. And also, I would never mock somebody with any kind of condition or anything, any type of health or any condition or any situation that they don't feel comfortable with. But in her instance, she's been rocking that bald head for quite a while and almost no hair for a long time. And she's gorgeous and beautiful. I've already said that. She's stunning, absolutely stunning. She can carry it off like I said, nobody's business. And I feel that she was a little salty when Chris made that little joke. And I think that triggered her husband into defense mode because he laughed at it. I know that some people say that he was laughing at the joke before, but clearly if you watch, you see the way he looked at the moment that he heard Chris Rock and look at his wife. You clearly know that he was in laughter. And the look on her face and the look in her eyes and the salty behavior, or salty, I guess, behavior. I don't know. She wasn't pleased with it. I believe that's what triggered him to go up on stage and slap another man. And this is the second time he's slapped somebody that I'm aware of. I remember that he did slap I think it was a reporter. And I really don't remember who or what the situation was. I can't really remember exactly what it was. But when it happened, the first time, I thought he was, I thought that was perfectly natural reaction that he had. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I remember assessing it and thinking, I'd probably do the same thing. Because I thought the person that, whatever it was that they did, I remember I thought it was rude and unnecessary. And I didn't think that it was such a big deal the first time. But this time, I just don't really agree with it because, as I said, she has this condition. I'm not belittling it. But G.I. Jane is a badass. And that was more of a compliment than anything. And she could have rocked it and possibly turned this into something else. Like he said, G.I. Jane 2. And I think her reaction to it was just a little overdone. And like I said, I don't know what mood she was in, or you've got to be a little bit self-deprecating sometimes. And she looked so beautiful, so stunning, and her dress was probably the prettiest dress there at the Oscars. And I just thought she was gorgeous and beautiful. And I think that her attitude could have been a little bit softer. And at first she did kind of laugh. It looked like she was about to laugh or starting to. I don't know. And I just think that she could have possibly not overreacted to it, and because that was triggering to her husband. Everybody saw the way he turned and looked, and when he made eye contact and realized she wasn't happy, he's thinking, oh, I gotta get up and do something, or stop this, and he didn't want anybody to mock or humiliate his wife. I understand that. I understand that very clearly. Nobody wants that happening to their partner, and in front of the whole world, on national TV, international coverage and everything. But again, I think her reaction was a little bit overdone, and not the best way that I think that she could have handled it. And I'm saying this because I do have somebody in my family that has severe alopecia, who wears a knit cap every day, no matter how hot it is. If it's 105 or 10 degrees, this person will still have this knit cap on. And like I say, I live in baking hot Texas, and this person has suffered for it for a long time. This person had the most gorgeous, beautiful, hair that was like 3 times as thick as mine, all the way to their waist. Just absolutely gorgeous, stunning, beautiful hair. And now this person has almost no hair, and doesn't even want me to see it. And I'm very close to this person. It breaks my heart. So it's not like I'm heartless and I'm just making rude comments about some woman with some medical condition. So I know it very clearly. And I also had a friend who had the same condition also, and was very severe. And it was heartbreaking to see that. And so I know very, very, maybe not firsthand from me, but from a person that I care very deeply about. And I would never want anybody to mock this person. But in the sense that this person does not show their bald head with a full head of stubble, there's a difference here. And this person is very affected by it. But yet, Jada Pinkett Smith is a celebrity who is well known, who has made a decision to shave her head and live her life that way, and not wear a wig, not cover it up, not wear a hat, not wear a scarf. And clearly, I don't think is as affected by it as somebody like I've just described. So there's 2 different ways to look at that. And I do feel for her. I do think it is, just, an unfortunate, horrible hand to be dealt, to have to deal with something like that in your life. Because when it was happening to me, it literally made me cry. I was very upset and very, I didn't know what I was going to do. Am I going to lose all my hair? Am I going to be bald? Am I going to have to shave my head? Do I wear a wig? I actually started looking at wig things on the, on the internet, and just, it was very, very, very tough to go through. And I do feel for her. But the way that she reacted is the main component of this. She triggered her husband to go up on stage, or it was his own actions. She is not responsible for him, but I feel like together they kind of have a little responsibility, especially towards Chris Rock. I mean, he is just about one of the funniest, best comedians out there. And Will Smith also has made bank from mocking people, making fun of people, and pointing out people's physical attributes, like on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Every week there was a joke made about Uncle Phil's weight and his fat stomach and all. It got to the point where I really didn't even like to watch that show at a certain point, because it was just, like he was beating a dead horse about Uncle Phil's weight. Every week there was some kind of joke like that, and it became not funny at all. I actually didn't think it's funny at all in the beginning, but I think there's a little bit of responsibility that he has. And also, I do think Jada Pinkett Smith, could G.I. Jane it up a little bit and make a statement, regarding this, because I do feel for her. I do. But I think it was horribly overdone, and the embarrassment that it caused Chris Rock. And, he was at work. He was doing what he does best. He's a comedian, and the biggest thing that he threw out to her was a compliment that she could have turned into something. I mean, had she had a different reaction, who knows what it could have, I don't know, done for her. And I don't see her as a softie, and I don't see her as being weak. And I think that she might have just overreacted just a little bit in the very beginning, and instantly it triggered her husband. And being slapped in the face, that's happened to me, and it's humiliating. It is enraging to me. And how well Chris Rock handled it, it did fluster him. He couldn't really concentrate after that. You could tell the difference in his behavior. It really threw him off. And I feel really bad for him. And, this wasn't like a horrible, mean-spirited, awful joke. It was maybe something that he didn't quite understand. But the thing is, he didn't say, make a remark, didn't call her cue ball or do something like that. He made a joke about a very strong woman who shaved her head also, and for a strong reason. And I believe that it could have been less embarrassing for all three of them. And I hate the way it turned out, and it made a fool out of all three of them. And Will Smith, he could get his Oscar taken away. And that was like his crowning achievement in all of the work that he has done. Even though he did it to himself, I feel bad for him too. I feel bad for all three: Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Will Smith. It's just a really horrible, unfortunate situation. And I just wish maybe the strength of a woman who shaved her head could have been, shown in that spotlight maybe a little bit more. I just think after making the move to shave her head and to come out and, address this situation with her hair loss, I think she could have expected some, words towards her condition. And I don't think that Chris Rock's were so horribly ugly or demeaning. It was really a compliment, and I think she should have ran with that. And that's my unpopular opinion. And thank you for coming to my channel, and I'll see y'all soon. Thank you.